I mean, Tremaine Johnson, $15 million a year?
Yeah.
All right, and they made the offer sheet to Kyle Fuller, and now they bring back Terman. They'll probably bring Devon House back at a lesser rate. Does that lead you to believe that Gutekunst is going to increase that pass rush come draft day? Are we talking a Marcus Davenport? Are we talking a Chubb? Are we talking impact players in the front seven that will disrupt the quarterback to make life a little easier in the back end?
Davenport, who I like. You're either going to get Davenport. Let's say he gets crazy with all the draft picks and trades up and takes Denzel Ward. Because everybody has Denzel Ward dropping down to maybe between 8 and 10. Suppose he shoots up a couple and grabs. Denzel Ward's a real deal.
Yeah,
he's a lockdown corner. I don't want the kid out of Iowa. But if they get Denzel, if he gets crazy and gets Denzel
Mike
Ward,
Hughes, Central Florida,
we'll be doing that draft show. We may blow pants off at that point if they go up and get Denzel Ward because that'll be a huge hit.
No question,
They have to, in my opinion, they have to take two corners in this draft. I think what Tramon Williams did is now you don't have to get a corner in the first and second round. Maybe you get a corner in the first round and you get another in the third round. They just don't have enough. What is today's game all about? That's why the cornerback prices are so high, because everybody's going to spread. Everybody's playing 4 or 5 wide receivers. You got tight ends that are receivers. You got to be able to guard these guys. So I think it's imperative that they get 2 cornerbacks. They just don't. We don't know. Kevin King, when they drafted him, he had a shoulder problems. He was hurt. So we're going to rely on him, on that shoulder being healthy. I just think it's imperative for them to get 2 cornerbacks early in this draft.
I think you got to jump up and get one. The kid out of Iowa is small.
Disagree.
And the thing about it is, when they go get a corner, they're not going after a guy that's 5'11". They're going after a guy that's 6'2".
Those days are done.
Ward is 6'2".
The Buckleys, the Ahmad Carrolls.
Yeah, he can run like the wind, and he's got a good leaping ability. That would be the guy to go after. Otherwise, I can see them taking Davenport and falling back into the second round and waiting for another corner to come to him.
All right.
I have a question. I think they really have to go after a pass rusher in the first pick. So if it's either going to be Davenport or Landry, if they can get either one of those guys.
The thing about it, and I like Davenport, but you go back to when Thompson first got here, and the defense. Remember, they had come out of the Mike Sherman era in which he spent a third-round draft choice on B.J. Sander. So there was all these spaces that were open. You just needed the best player. I think you go back to that as long as you're getting the best available defensive player, unless, of course, you get – and there's a run on corners because a lot of teams are looking at this going, okay, if I don't have the quarterback, then I got to build my defense. So you could have a run on corners and a run on pass rushers early on, and you may get a guy that's a wide receiver that can fall to you. Now, I'm not saying Ridley's the guy because Ridley doesn't have a great apex, but he's a guy that yards after the catch off the chart. But I could see them going after an offensive tackle. Right now, you're still uncertain at your guard position because most guys, if you're running a spread offense, most guys are going to be offensive tackles. They're going to be guards in the National Football League. So I could see them going and solidifying the offensive line first to protect Aaron Rodgers and then going with the rest of it from there as well.
What's our solution at right tackle, and also is Justin McCray the real deal at guard?
Oh, Mr. Bulaga.
Well, Bulaga went down 3/4 of the way through the season with the injury. I can't imagine that he's going to be ready. So are they going to let McCray take a shot at the tackle? That's what I'm saying. They got to draft him. McCray's a guard. I agree.
Jason
But Spriggs went down with he had the knee surgery.
He played better coming back than when he really
Once
struggled
Spriggs
early.
got the job, he played better because he knew what he was. They tried to make him a guard, and that was a dismal failure because he's not a guard. But I don't even know if he's going to be ready for training camp.
Everything else about that O-line is locked up long-term, though.
Right.
I mean, Bakhtiari, Taylor,
And you've got money
Lindsley.
wrapped up in Bulaga.
Yeah.
So no news right now. It's just all quiet on the front. You're going to just have to throw a coin in the air and flip it and wait and see.
I think
because
they're crossing their fingers at Bulaga.
I really do.
Yeah, but doesn't it feel like the Green Bay Packers have a lot of holes? I mean, it just does. If you think about the offensive line, if you think about right tackle, if you think about you're going to trust Bulaga to stay healthy, and if you think about the draft picks that we had on the offensive line, that it just didn't quite work out for us. The Derek Sherrod kid came in, first-round draft pick, broke his leg, and I think they screwed up the surgery. They had to re-break it. He's no longer with us. He's another guy that you could have counted on. And right now you're looking at your right tackle. You're talking about Spriggs. Here's a guy came out of Indiana. He's supposed to be a left tackle, prototype guy.
They
but
traded
still,
up to get him.
Yeah, he's a guy that's up and down. I don't quite know what he can do. Last time we saw, I think he dislocated his kneecap. Maybe he's ready, maybe he's not. If you're the Green Bay Packers, obviously, too, now you're looking at, do I take an offensive line in the first or second round? And you need a tackle in the worst way.
Every team has holes, Gary. Every team has holes. I
Yeah, it
haven't
feels
seen-
like, but every team
But
is
this
not.
year-
Every team is not trying to win a Super Bowl every year, and every team doesn't have Aaron Rodgers.
But
and that's
this
our
team,
problem.
though, this year in the draft, you're drafting for starters. You need probably, what, 4 starters out of this draft, as opposed to years past when you're drafting for depth.
Yeah.
You're drafting for
No,
guys in
no.
your special teams. This year, you're drafting for about 4 starters.
I'll substitute impact for starters. They
All
need
right.
impact players. They have one impact player.
They don't
on that
have
team.
any. You're right.
Aaron Rodgers is
That's
an impact
it.
player.
That's it.
That's
it.